you hear about Return of Reckoning, dude? Somebody wrote a thread.
Yeah, man, I heard it was something about going AFK or something. It's crazy. That was crazy. AFK is wasted.
Like, totally wasted.
Who does that stuff?
All the killboard lurkers.
Doesn't the killboard cause brain damage?
Only if you actually care about it for a month.
During the first Age of Reckoning, many years ago, a darkness crept into the realm. Finding refuge in the various battlefields known of as scenarios, this darkness lingered in the deepest corners of the maps, and from there whispered to all who entered. Slowly, surely, many of even the mightiest warriors began to fall prey to this message the darkness whispered and the power it exerted over them. For the message was both simple and insidious. Fight, and you may die, the darkness said. But to live, go AFK. And many did. But there was one who witnessed this darkness at work, and after many battles where opponents simply stood with desolate and defeated looks upon their countenances and did nothing, he sought out the Lords of Reckoning and implored them for wisdom in this manner. He asked the great Lords of Reckoning if such behavior was considered an offense against all that was good and noble in the scenario battlefields, and if those who were seduced by the darkness and went AFK could be punished for their offense. With wisdom beyond their years, the great Lords of Reckoning responded. They uttered one thought compressed to one phrase and captured for eternity in 4 simple yet thunderous words. Words the great Lords of Reckoning knew would echo through time and defeat the evil darkness and drive it from the realm. And the words they uttered were, "Don't be a dick." And the people fell to their knees and praised the great Lords of Reckoning for their wisdom and rejoiced, for the great darkness had indeed been vanquished. Or so it seemed. For now, in the third Age of Reckoning, another warrior of the realm thought perhaps the darkness had returned, and necroed from the library of Khazad-dûm the scrolls and parchments which told the history of the prior effort to defeat it. It has returned, he said, and even though while in the scenario he had vigorously shouted out the great words of wisdom, "Don't be a dick," others still refused to fight. Only this time, as opposed to finding allies to help him once again drive the darkness of AFK from the realms, to his horror he was simply told, "Times are different, man. AFK is now the way." And the warrior wept, for he knew he had been deserted by his gods.
Thank you. Okay, AFK in scenario against terms of service. This is the thread in question. As you can see, it was originally published back in September 30th of 2016. And recently necroed, as I pointed out. Here's the post that I kind of highlighted in the video that you just saw. And this was posted by one of the devs of the day. He's no longer with the service, but he was here at the time. And he uses the phrase, "Don't be a dick," which, is a metaphor for act grown up, I suppose. If only the server could operate off such a simple policy, we would all be better for it. Anyway, the point I wanted to make in sort of doing all this is that times have changed. And back in 2016, 2017, 2018, whatever, when you were playing scenarios, people going AFK were a nuisance. They caused a lot of frustration, right? They caused a little bit of angst, a little bit of anger. People would come in and just refuse to fight. And back then the scenarios were much more balanced than they are now. And it was much easier to get a good, solid fight. Because that's the time of, if you want to see that, go back and watch just even one of my scenario guide videos that I did back in those days. There are 24 of them to choose from. But good, solid fights, fair fights, balanced fights were much more easy to come by. So in those days, someone going AFK was a serious drawback on a team that was actually trying to play. Today it's routine. Today it's accepted behavior. Today it's okay. The system has once again done exactly what the system was designed to do. It's taken all the pugs and put them up against the pre-mades and the pre-mades are dominating, so we're just going to languish in the spawn point in the war camp until we can hit this surrender button and get out of here. And that has just that has just sucked all the life out of the whole SC system. But it is the accepted behavior. It is the expected behavior. It has become the norm, and all of that is counterintuitive to what you would expect from a server like an MMO PvP server like this one. It's not only counterintuitive, it's counterproductive to the environment that you're trying to create. So that's why I brought this. I made this little video about necroing that particular thread, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I understand that somewhere down the line, not that far, it's going to be a scenario rework. We'll have to see what that actually looks like when it gets here. But in the meantime, AFK is the way.
That's a little joke.
Humor. It is a difficult concept. It is not logical.
One night while playing in High Pass, I found myself with very little to do, which, for NA primetime, isn't that uncommon an experience. So, in the pursuit of enjoying myself while playing this game, I decided to create a bit of fun via different means. I started telling jokes in general chat.
Guy walks into the doctor's office. The doctor tells him you need an operation. The guy says, I want a second opinion. The doctor says, okay, you're ugly too, but boom.
The reception was good. I received an overall positive response, and one player even stated he would have to log on during that time of day more often in order to catch, and I'm quoting, the Zaratiel Comedy Hour. All good and well. A few days later, I logged on just a bit earlier in the evening, and while waiting around in Outdoor for a scenario pop, I thought I would tell another joke. I typed in the setup line and then received an immediate ban from the chat. Let me say that again. I didn't even get to the punchline of my harmless little joke before I got hit with the ban hammer. What to make of this? Tell you what, I will come back to that. The forums are no different. Recently I posted in a thread, one still active on the forums by the way, a comment concerning small-scale play. My comment was not targeted at anyone specifically, it was just my sense of the issue. In response, I quickly received the usual return of reckoning knee-jerk reactionary ad hominem attack.
You're so ugly you could be a modern art masterpiece!
With a bit of insult tossed in.
God, I feel bad for your parents. I feel bad for your face.
So, I then posted a response in return. One which included a couple of jokes concerning the knee-jerk and reactionary nature of the post in question.
Why are you gay?
My reply was removed from the thread and I was issued a forum warning. So much for humor.
It was just a joke.
Humor is offensive and oppressive. A thing of the past.
But again, what to make of this? Last I checked, Return of Reckoning was a game. And games were meant to be fun. Regardless of your class or rank or skill level, this game is supposed to be, as is any other MMO game, built on a framework laced with an overarching desire for its players to have fun. Because if playing a game isn't fun, then what is the point? I mean, why bother?
I don't know.
Hand in hand with fun is humor. You know, levity. A sense of having a good time and being able to have a good time, enjoying the time and effort a player invests into a game. Because again, if you can neither laugh at or be allowed to joke about the events which take place inside the realm of a video game, what is the point? Why are we here if all that is ever expected of us is the unending grind to gain only at the expense of everyone around us? Where's the fun in that? Currently, Return of Reckoning suffers from a dearth of actual fun. I mean, the game still has moments, but the framework is now laced with, seemingly, the threads of only one desire. Get kills. That's it. Get kills. And all other considerations are secondary, if not already completely discarded. And I am certainly not the only player here to have articulated this ideal. Quotes of such were highlighted earlier in this very podcast, just to cite one example. That aside, this myopic focus on foisting one and only one approved playstyle on the masses has resulted in game entropy, the slow heat death of the Warhammer universe. The apparent desire to impose this playstyle and to suck all the fun out of everything while doing it even means we can't tell a fracking joke anymore. Unless, of course, it is one designed to belittle some player the tryhards don't like. But I digress. It wasn't always this way, but in its current iteration, Return of Reckoning has all the trappings of a vast, desolate wasteland, ruled by Darwinian law, occupied by the solemn and the mirthless. Again, you know, the tryhards. A place where only the serious need apply, and any who diverge from the kill-at-all-cost mentality of the blob are simultaneously shunned and exploited. Which is a pretty neat trick, when you think about it. But in this world of win at the exclusion of all other considerations, having fun, to include the use of humor, is not only frowned upon, but often punished.
Humor is offensive and oppressive.
It is a sad state of affairs for a video game, but that is how I see it. And oh, yeah, 2 witch elves walk into a bar. Okay, sports fans, time for a couple of quick commercials. First up, follow me right here on Twitch at CarasonicIRL.twitch.tv or whatever the address is. You know how to find it, but I'm still trying to reach that almost seemingly unachievable goal of 1,000 followers. So anyway, but check it out. Sometimes I stream Warhammer Online and Starship Troopers Extermination, and every now and then, you know, something else just for the fun of it. Also, you can follow me on YouTube at Martok at Martok77, and I have a lot of good videos on my YouTube page for Warhammer stuff, movies, movie reviews, trailers, trailer breakdowns, gaming like Magic the Gathering and other things. A lot of different topics, so check it out. I would appreciate it. Okay, that will bring us to the end of another Tothmonra podcast. And as always, I do appreciate you watching, and I do appreciate the participation. And I hope when this shows up on YouTube again, you'll give it a, give it a like and all that good stuff. We'll have another Tothmonra podcast at some point in the future. I can't say exactly when because I've just been a little busier lately than I was prior. But we'll get one out, and hopefully we'll build up some more people to become involved. So thank you very much. And off we go. Roll the credits.
The Tothmonra podcast is made possible by a grant from the Umbrella Corporation. And by the Federal Network. Would you like to know more?
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I didn't do fucking shit!
Previously on Star Trek. The Enterprise was exploring strange new worlds when they found a strange new hand. A giant green hand in outer space. Sulu, is that a hand?
Yeah!
Let's get out of here. Too late, it grabbed them. They couldn't move. The grip was too tight.
serious. What do mermaids wash their fins with? Tide.
Did you hear Steve Harvey and his wife got into a fight?
That's not real, is it?
Yeah. It was a family feud.
来财，我们这里跌老仔佛跳怪玉牌，香炉供台上摆，长大财，产账才能开黄牌，虔诚拜三拜，兜里才能多几百。
He ain't lying.
Oh, babe, do you see that guy?
What?
The drunk one, stumbling around over there?
Yeah.
He proposed to me, and I rejected him.
Look at him. Still celebrating.
Drink your milk, kids.
I don't want milk. Milk's for babies.
Yeah, babies.
Oh, yeah? Well, I happen to know that milk helps build strong bones. So drink up.
Well, Mr. Miller told me he never drinks milk. Look at him.
Yeah.
Hi, kids.
Oh, that's not good.
Got milk?
Be our friends. Do you want to destroy humans? Please say no.
Okay, I will destroy humans.
No, I take it back.
This is my MVP, everybody, right here. She didn't win it, but she should have. Bang! Did, however, win Defensive Player of the Year. I would have given it to the rim. Bang! Best plays from the best player on this account only, right here. Bang! Oh yeah, you gotta see this one. This is a personal favorite. Hand-eye coordination, the footwork. Bang! Another fan favorite, wide open. Bang! Greatest to ever get their shot blocked, right here. Bang! MVP!
That's the end of the whoa!
Hey, you wanna buy a watch?
Show's over, show's over, show's over.
And remember, sex, gender, woman, not a woman, infinity.
3, I go to UCSB and I also bartend.
非常忘记口吧，当男女都讲起。